Oh, shit.
Hello, everybody. I am Jackson of Just Annoyed, and once again, tonight I am joined by Paul and Ken. Paul of CBSI and Ken of the Pinkies Out podcast. How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Yeah,
good.
Well, I mislabeled the name of the episode. I actually meant to name it what we were going to talk about tonight, which is hour-long breakdown of the new Thunder Force trailer with Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer. So I hope you guys have studied the trailer.
I'm hoping we get to this show.
Yeah, I mean, it's finally time. Those hot movies are finally going to start coming out. I don't know how Netflix got this one personally. This is just too.
I think they lost a bet.
It demands to be seen on the biggest screen possible, I guess.
And I don't understand why Kevin Sorbo can't get jobs for his production company. So
yeah, Kevin Sorbo. What's he up to these days? Is he still doing the religious movie thing?
Kind of, yeah. He's conservative, and
yeah, like God's Not Dead or whatever the hell his series is, right? Doesn't he have those movies? Was that Greg Kinnear speaking?
That's Kinnear. That's Kinnear.
Kinnear's in those? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, anyway, we are actually here. Sorry about that dud of a joke to start the show. But we are actually here to discuss The Stand. So let's go ahead and start the show. Yeah, so it sounds like Paul just rudely interrupted the show right there. I can't believe he would do such a thing.
I know, right?
Right when the music comes down. But anyways,
Paul.
Yeah, before we hop into The Stand, though, I do want to know, and I don't know if Paul's been watching it. I think you have, Ken.
Yeah.
So Paul can kind of sit on the sideline if he doesn't want to be a part of the show anyway.
I got to go.
Yeah. All right, see you later, dude. No, have you been watching this WandaVision?
Yes.
And what do you think?
The first two or three episodes, I'm like, I kind of stopped watching halfway through the second episode, thinking, I'm not crazy about this. Somebody said, you got to get to the fourth episode. And oh man, were they right. When you get to that fourth episode, it kicks in and it's good. The acting's fantastic in it. I love the writing. It's not a storyline I'm super familiar with. I thought they were going to go more with like the House of M or like the Mojo verse. I remember some of that stuff back from in the day. But yeah, I like where it's going. I have no idea where they're going other than I think Spectrum is supposed to show up in the next episode.
Yeah, see, I don't even know. I don't know any of these characters at all. Like my history with Marvel is essentially, the main characters, Captain America and that sort of thing. And then, until Iron Man came out, I didn't really give a shit about any of these guys outside of maybe the Hulk. But I am like venturing to the place where I'm about to say this is like up there with my favorite thing that the MCU has done. Yeah. Like I love this show.
There again, it's consistency. MCU has consistency throughout all the movies and all the shows.
Yeah, it feels right in there with all the movies. Like the production value is high. I like the characters. The Asian character, and I've just been watching Veep, and he's in that as well.
He's in everything now.
He's fucking great.
Randall, what is his name? Randall something.
Flag?
Yeah.
Hey, could be.
He's also in
the Walking Dude.
He's also in the new Rock show. Young Rock.
Oh, is he? How's that?
That's good. That's funny.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's worth the watch.
Yeah, so I've been like absolutely enthralled by this show.
I actually got my wife wanting to watch all the MCU now. So
oh boy, so the 20 whatever movies that they have.
Yeah, we just watched. We're up to the third one. We just did the first Iron Man, so we're on to the fourth movie. If we're watching them in order, because Disney has them in chronological order, not necessarily in order that they were released. So the first one is Captain America, the first Avenger. Then chronologically, the second one is Captain Marvel, which is freaking awful. And then you get to the good movies like Iron Man and the Avengers and stuff.
Interesting. So you're watching it when it took place.
Yes.
So you're watching it as if you were watching Star Wars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Which is interesting because, I kind of know where everything's going, but it's filling in some of the stuff that I forgot.
Now, did you already run into situations where it's like, okay, well, they totally expect us as an audience, or your wife, maybe she's not as familiar with it, where it's like they totally expect her to know who Samuel L. Jackson's character is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Already right from the get-go.
Yeah. So you're like, so it's kind of odd where it's like, they know you didn't mean to watch it in this order, right?
Yeah. These are definitely movies for the fans.
Right. Yes. Yeah. But when
Captain Marvel, I don't think anybody's a fan of Captain Marvel.
Oh, stop it.
Terrible damn movie.
Oh, that's your favorite?
No. Yeah.
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 Do you have
that's
a
why I
Captain
had my hair
Marvel
like
tattoo?
that for a while.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
My hair was like that on purpose for a while. Ken finally pointed it out.
Until I shamed him.
Yeah. And that's why Ken's hair fell out.
Yeah.
Because he saw that.
You'll never look like Captain Marvel.
I did.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I haven't done like a good Marvel scrubbing in some time. I mean, there's so many. It's like going back to our conversation last night, it's kind of fascinating to look at the differences between Marvel and DC and what Marvel was able to do. And it's all DC made it like 4 movies in before it was a complete disaster,
Well, I just don't understand DC. I mean, how can you make so many great animated features, but yet just can't get your shit together for a script for a live action?
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing.
I just hire the guys that are animating this shit,
So that conversation's there now. As far as like news is concerned, the only thing like really of note, there might be like some announcements that happened or something, but the first domino, it looks like, might have fallen in the movie theater industry apparently today or yesterday.
Yesterday for Michigan.
Okay, well, this is the Alamo Draft House, which we don't have any of those here. Do you guys have those?
Yeah. Yep.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they filed for Chapter 11. Apparently they're done.
They're done. Yeah, they weren't doing very well before COVID over here.
Okay.
So.
Okay. See, I had heard that they were kind of a popular like dine-in movie place. Right. So
it's the location though where they're at. It wasn't there. The one that I know of was in a college town and it was not doing very great.
Yeah, no, I know. I think it was one of the bigger chains though. So I gotta think they're gonna start falling here. So that's
it's their own fault. When you can't go to the movies with your family for under like $75.
I don't know. I mean, there's an aspect of that, man, but there also have been it's March. It's been a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year that they have had to do nothing except for have these, I mean, depending on what your opinion is of them. I know the theater I was at a few months back, like they did a good job of social distancing and shit. But I was looking around thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, they were allowing 10 people in a theater. There's plenty of space. Like, what the hell are these companies supposed to do? I don't know.
I saw Wonder Woman 84 in the theater, and it was just space out, wear your mask, and
sure.
It was like a special event, though.
How was it busy? Like
for Wonder Woman?
Like, yeah, was it like, did you look around and say like, okay, well, if this is a busy night at the theater, they're fucked,
So Wonder Woman for me was a special event through my LCS where it was limited to X number of people. My comic shop rented out the theater for that movie. So it was a special event, but the theater itself was still showing other movies, and I don't know, it looked normal. I mean, I don't really go that often, so I guess I don't have anything to compare it to, but
yeah,
there's other people there. I mean,
it'll be interesting. I mean, Wonder Woman was the first like blockbuster to come out. Well, I guess maybe Tenet would have made some money if it was during normal time.
Did you like
Tenet?
Yeah,
I did. I liked it. I didn't think it was great. it's Nolan weird like spectacle shit. Which it opens in New York City this weekend, by the way, 6 months later. But yeah, no, that would have been the other one, that and Wonder Woman. But it will be interesting this year, especially with this HBO Max shit happening, where like there's at least a couple that are. I mean, like The Matrix, I think, is coming out on HBO Max. Mortal Kombat, not that would have been like gigantic, but Godzilla versus King Kong. It's
that would have been a big theater,
which one? You mean Godzilla?
Godzilla versus Kong.
Not if you judge from the last one, because it did terribly.
Yeah, I don't know though.
I mean, but the point is, it's like, what's the game plan here? How long do these theaters have? Because okay, like let's say Black Widow comes out. I don't even know if that's like a solid date this year, or James Bond. That's another one where it's like, if these like lockdown measures are in place, I mean, how do these movie theaters stay open? I mean, I don't think it's.
I think it's moving towards I think it's going to move towards like some monopoly, like a Walmart or Amazon or some huge thing buying it, and there's very few and far between of other theaters that aren't part of this big conglomeration of AMC or AMC via Amazon or who knows what.
Or Disney could buy them.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like
the mom and pop theaters pop up again once the restrictions start lifting. Because I mean, it's not that expensive to buy a DLP projector and have a big room that you can fit 30 people in. You can make money doing that.
Yeah, but they got to ship a huge percentage of every ticket they sell right back to whatever studios. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe the studios need to change. Maybe the whole thing needs to change.
I think the licensing is going to have to change.
I don't see like a movie like Avengers making nearly as much money if it can't be shown in theaters.
Yeah, because you can't pack sold out shoulder to shoulder theaters anymore.
Yeah. And where do you drum up the excitement to even have hype for people to go purchase the movie elsewhere? I mean, there's a whole event, there's a whole event motivation for like your average moviegoers. I mean, I was going multiple times every week in most cases, but like Paul, I'm assuming you don't go often. But I'm assuming when you go, it's like the big,
like Logan or Avengers,
or Dune. That's the next one.
Dune, yeah. God, dude. Now, see, there you go. That is a movie that I don't think is going to do well in theaters anyway. But I have to see that in a fucking big screen. I have to.
Does any of you guys know if like the drive-ins are making a huge comeback given their advantage for social distancing? And
I think
it's maybe the summer weather related. I don't know.
They haven't.
I think they did pretty well, like nationwide. We've got a couple that are like within 40 or so minutes from us. We thought about going, we didn't go, but I would imagine that's a good place to go. But again, it's like you're not getting that. You're not getting that awesome sound. And
we lived literally 5 minutes away from one of the biggest ones still in Michigan when we lived in Coldwater, and we drove by it. We never went in it. The one time we went to it, a thunderstorm popped up, so we left.
Oh, it's like a Twister. Remember Twister?
There was and it was just. But you're sitting in your car and you got to run your air conditioner, and because it's hardly ever a nice night. That you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a good point.
If I'm going to sit somewhere, I'm going to sit in my house and be comfortable.
Yeah. See, man, that I love the fact that I did put like a Atmos setup in my house, the big screen TV and shit perfect time to do it finally.
Oh yeah.
But God, I just, something to do too. Like I like to go, dinner and a movie. That's
right.
Yeah.
And it just sucks. And I feel bad for, these managers or, I don't feel horrible for the AMC execs who are running this giant company.
Little people that.
Right. Yeah. But somebody's running that theater. It's probably franchised in some way to somebody who risked a bunch of money to open one. I mean, it just blows. But
I honest to God, my wife and I almost went into the restaurant business like a year and a half or something soon before COVID hit, I would have been ruined.
Thank God you didn't, man.
Yeah, Paul. I don't know what we would have done.
I feel terrible.
I wouldn't be here today. I don't know. It scares me to think what could have been. Honestly.
Dude, I am rip roaring ready to go. I'm like Wile E. Coyote when he's like in the air spinning his legs ready to just bolt. I cannot wait until like people aren't just fucking terrified. I can't wait.
It's so, doing what I do today. It's been a year into this. The restrictions haven't really changed for my business. And I had 50, I like this last week, I had 50 people calling to ask me what the rules were for an event I had planned. And it's like, I almost said, really? It's been a year.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's been the same. Wear your mask. If you're afraid, stay home.
Everybody's kind of on a different level as far as their give a shit quotient. I'm closer, to be honest, to the I don't give a shit anymore. But I think that you should have common sense. I feel like everybody needs to go a little bit closer to the middle of, everyone's going to die and go cough everywhere you want because there's no such thing as COVID.
If people want to be terrified, read about the last real pandemic where, literally funeral homes had stacks of bodies and caskets behind them because they could not bury people fast enough. Or Ken, segue here. Or you could watch The Stand. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You could read the original Stand.
Yeah, or you could watch the first 5 minutes of the first episode of The Stand,
which was really good.
That's the only goddamn plague we got in the entire show.
Yeah.
Oh, well, do we want to spoil the last episode?
Let's just talk about it. So where we left off, we had the Las Vegas episode, which these two guys thought was the greatest episode of television ever to air in the history of mankind.
I watch it every night before bed.
Yeah, right? He still watches it. Not just because Dana has her ass hanging out. Right, exactly.
Right.
But anyway, so we were in Vegas. We got to know a little bit what was going on in Vegas. And the next episode, we basically over the course of the next few episodes is the climax of The Stand. So I apologize to the listeners, but I'm kind of feeling forced to come on and talk about this show at this point.
We were hoping that we could just disappear and no one would notice. But we're here for you, the fans. We toughed it out. We watched it. So here we are to talk about it.
We did finish it. I'm assuming all of us finished it.
I did.
I did.
So
pieces. Overall, it's terrible. I've been gung ho and tongue in cheek, but I do have to say this was terrible.
It's a disaster.
It was disastrous in a way that only Stephen King adaptations can be disastrous.
Yeah, which is so bizarre,
isn't it though? Because if you read his books, they read like a dialogue or a TV play,
teleplay. Yeah, he doesn't really. He doesn't leave much to interpretation. It's all right there on the page. But I guess the first thing that kind of happened after the last episode we watched, the first big thing that happened was the introduction of the Trash Can Man. And of course, Michael is chiming in, saying that, it's The Stand. Oh yeah, we're done. I'm going to leave. That's what Michael's saying.
Says the guy who was supposed to be here with us. It's so bad. Mike has decided he doesn't want to tarnish his new brand.
Right. Well, he's too busy filming the Young Rock scenes, because he plays the Young Rock.
He could play. Yeah. They're talking about The Rock for president. I think Mike could.
Be that's what this whole show's about. So.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, I know we don't want to talk about The Stand again, but
I know.
But let's get back to it. But anyway, Mike, I do plan on talking about the opening of the Superman and Lois show. So if you're still listening, go look that up on YouTube because you might be interested in the conversation on that. Anyway, so Trash Can Man gets introduced. He's a pyro who they show jerking off in front of an exploding nuclear plant.
With his wife.
Something. Yeah, with his wife, right. And he's played by Ken's favorite, Barry Allen.
Right, the best Justice League actor ever.
Yeah, and what the hell? I should have his name. God damn it!
What was his name? He's going to disappear in another year. No one's ever going to hear from him. He's going to end up in a trash can.
Excuse my typing here, but he is played by Ezra Miller.
He's probably still in a diaper somewhere.
So my first thought with this trash can man thing was this was like an actual character in the book.
Yeah.
What did you think when you first you seemed to like him, Ken?
I liked him,
right?
He was my favorite character from the book and from the original series. But the original series I liked him more because I liked the actor that played him, and I forget his name. He also played Max Headroom and was in Eureka. And Eureka was a great TV show, by the way.
I liked Eureka a lot.
Since we've been talking Zack Snyder the last couple of days, he was
and that ties into the Justice League because Cyborg's dad was on Eureka too.
Yeah, he was.
That you mean Cyborg's dad? What the fuck? Miles Dyson. That's his name.
Yeah,
Miles Dyson from Terminator 2. That's the only thing that matters. From that
he was Henry from Eureka.
Which by the way, Miles Dyson pretty much played Miles Dyson again in Justice League. He's still like in a robotics lab, like fucking with. But no, that guy was also Mullock in Zack Snyder's Watchmen. He's
a great actor. I love him.
I like him too.
Eureka.
I like Trash Can Man. I like the whole concept of the redemption of Trash Can Man, and they skipped over that whole aspect of it, and they only really kind of glimpsed at it at the end there when he does his deal with the do we want to jump into that since we're talking about Trash Can Man?
Or basically Trash Can Man is a character that is put here as kind of a Deus Ex Machina thing where it's like where he's gonna Machina, excuse me, my brain's broken. But he's gonna come back and bring the bomb back and kill everybody in Vegas. He's right.
Randall tasks him with recovering a nuclear missile from one of the test sites there in Nevada. And
he's what Matt Damon from Dogma. He's meant to just smite.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But I don't understand that either. Why? I don't remember. I don't remember him sending him to get the bomb. I feel like he brought it back as a gift.
In the show or in the original?
In the book, I don't think Randall Flagg told him.
No, in the book, it didn't. It was a gift. It was my life for you.
Yeah.
But he's not talking to Randall Flagg when he says that.
But this character in this is he's just fucking blabbing on about dumb shit. He's not a character. He's a fucking thing.
He's a mentally ill person that Randall thinks he can control. But in the end, he's not controlling him. The Trash Can Man is seeking redemption. When he's saying my life for yours, he's not talking to Randall Flagg. He's talking to God.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be an intelligent way to write the story. But in this, he was told to go get the bomb. He came back with the bomb.
That's my interpretation of it. Well, right. But he was told to take it to the airport because they were going to fly a plane over Boulder and drop it on Boulder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That's what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But he stopped because he heard God's voice and turned around and drove right up to the flag.
God, that was so stupid.
That was dumb. Absolutely. And the whole that they just kept repeating the first line of the 23rd Psalm. It's like, are you so stupid you can't say the rest of the Psalm?
Well, Trash Can Man, he wasn't like a completely inept moron.
No, I'm talking about
I'm just still on Trash Can Man because I'm like perplexed at how they created him. And like, first of all, it's like they forgot he existed.
I think Ezra just showed up to set in a didiaper one day and they just rolled with it.
He's like, are you guys okay with this costume? It's what I wear every day.
It's my Flash costume, so I'm just
who wrote this? Yeah. If you were gonna do this with Trash Can Man, just don't have Trash Can Man in the book. Find a different way to blow up the city. It added nothing, absolutely nothing. Trash Can.
Yeah, because
go ahead, Paul.
No, it didn't add anything. I agree.
No,
there was the backstory was light. It was him going to the penthouse and drooling over the fire, and then he got it and then came back and kaboom, and that's it. It wasn't.
I'd have to watch the original one again. It seems like there was more backstory for.
I almost want to watch the original, but if I really wanted to spend more time, I would read the true novel.
I should read the book.
Really get deep into
it. It's so
it.
fucking good, dude. Oh, it's great.
But I prefer this series over it. So
yeah. That episode, we get the trash can man.
After Vegas, right? So we're going to stay on track, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So after Vegas, we get Trash Can Man, that whole bit. He shows up in Vegas. I believe that episode was also the one where Mother Abigail is gone and they're holding a vigil. And this is the opportunity for.
Hope he didn't take her medication and wandered out of the village. So.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
She tried to go find 10 forward.
She was having her vaccine side effects. And
right.
Shot number 2.
Someone reactivated the 5G tower by her house.
Yeah, so she walks off, and then they have a vigil, and this is the opportunity for Harold and Nadine to blow up everybody else.
Yes, and that brings me to the next. Why the hell did this get written into it? Is Nick being the only one of the 5 original sheriffs?
The only reason I thought Nick died is so he could visit people in their dreams. In the series, I remember him visiting. This is terrible.
I always want to call him Lenny because
I want to say Mr. Moon. It's just so bad.
No, it's Tom Cullen.
Tom Cullen. Gosh darn it! He visits Tom Cullen in his dream, and Tom is like, "Oh my God, you can speak. Yep. You're not mute anymore." And I thought that was like a touching moment in the previous series.
It was.
And they totally skipped that. And that's why I thought he was killed. I thought they're going to do it. They didn't. And I was disappointed in that.
No, that brings me to the Tom Collins thing. I was expecting more when it showed him being the survivor from Vegas.
All right. We're getting too far ahead of ourselves.
Well, no, of the spies. Okay. We're not ahead of ourselves because they.
No, you're right.
We already know he's still alive.
He survived.
Yeah. He survived of the spies.
Right. Yep.
I wanted more from him.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in the disastrous finale for this stupid fucking show. But yeah, no, Nick got completely underwritten. He doesn't matter in this fucking show.
Me too, Ken.
Yeah.
He stinks. Nick stinks in this.
He's one
of the best characters in the book. And what's his name played him? I thought he was pretty good in the old miniseries.
The dude from Nightshade.
Rob Lowe.
Oh, Rob Lowe. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Rob Lowe. He's gotten better as he's gotten
older. But yeah, they blow that up. And that's right. I believe Nick was the one who died.
He did, but they did more with it though. Like Paul said, he guided the other ones in their dreams. Like whenever the other ones got to a low point, he showed up in their dreams and gave them encouragement. Like when Gary Sinise, same deal, except for this time the character broke their leg. In the show, they got sick. They got reinfected with Captain Trips. Remember, they had to leave him behind on their way to Vegas. Gary Sinise never made it to Vegas.
Yeah, no, but that happened the same way as it happens in this.
Did it? I thought he got sick. I didn't think it was a broken leg.
No, he breaks his leg.
Was it called Captain Trips in the original and the book, or is this?
It's like a nickname for him.
I don't remember it being other than called the super flu. That's what I remember.
Yeah, but no. So yeah, we've got that. I guess this is the one where. Is this the one where the end of it was him killing Nick, right? So is this the one where there's this is the one where Franny gets caught in Harold's house.
Yeah. He's locked in the basement and gets out, and at the end she runs and says bomb, bomb, and then it blows up.
Yeah, so first of all, the farther you got into this, up until I guess the next episode, maybe it was the one after. No, I think it was the next one. Like Harold is clearly our main character in this show.
Yeah,
I mean, like because he's got the most interesting shit going on. I'm not buying Nadine and her whole love fest with Randall Flagg.
I do. The only thing I like about Nadine is her opportunities and her own desire throughout the series to try and redeem herself, to try and not fall into the grips of Satan, even when she realizes who he is. and she does it anyway. I mean, she gets the kids away from the bombing, and before that episode, she goes up to Larry Underwood and she's like, "Hey, just fuck me," because she has to be a virgin, and her couple opportunities I thought were an interesting part to her character. Otherwise, she's just the vessel.
Yeah. What about this? Like, if she has this foresight to like understand what she's doing is wrong and she's a good person, I guess I'm not fully understanding why she's so attached to Randall Flagg, other than, okay, he visited her in her dreams or whatever.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. I think she was such a damaged child. He showed up as like a father lover type figure.
Okay.
In her dreams. And I think but she still struggled with it, because the big theme with Randall Flagg is everybody has to do the evil deeds of their own free will.
Sure.
If you look at it, because it's always, every statement is, everything they do, it's always followed of my own free will. He made sure Harold said that every time he did something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good point. And Randall Flagg, like, the idea of the character is awesome, but I mean, we've been talking about The Stand now for 10 minutes and we haven't really fucking talked about Randall Flagg at all.
No, that's because
he wasn't in it very much, was he? I mean,
he's as much as anybody, right?
Right.
Yeah, but I just remember him being set up more of he was a better boogeyman, like in the book. And even in the original series, he was more of a boogeyman. Whereas this time he was more of like a carnival, like shyster magician,
Yes. Yep.
Not scary at all.
Yeah, you know who he is in this series? He's the freaking Green Lantern, because he just runs out of power. That's who he is. Like, I can't float anymore.
It's true. He doesn't really he's not very good at like.
Okay, that brings us into one of the better parts of the series is Greg Kinnear's part in the series.
Okay, yeah,
the courtroom scene.
Yeah, so let's talk about the walk, right?
Yep.
Because we got to get there, right?
Yep.
So essentially, after Nick dies, they get chosen by Mother Abigail to be like the
emissaries or something.
Yeah, they're gonna go take the stand, right? Stupid. I didn't.
No. Well,
I didn't understand.
It made sense, like because the walk seemed like it took weeks, right? But yet, when they finally catch up with Harold, and we can talk about his demise, they acted like it'd only been a day or so.
Yes.
Did the timing just feel wrong to you? It felt wrong to me, like how quickly they came up on him. Because Harold and Nadine fled after the bombing on their little bad little motor scooters. And Nadine was balls to the wall down the mountain and then hit the brakes. And Harold forgot to hit his brakes and he went over the ditch. And, Nadine leaves
set him up
by crows. Yeah.
She set him up to die. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was stupid.
So
I liked that. I liked Harold's death. Everything good about this show, I feel like it was Harold centric.
Non-stop from Boulder, Colorado to Vegas would take 11.125 days of non-stop walking. Thank you.
And they did it in a 5-minute montage. Didn't that feel like a journey?
Yeah.
It's like Lord of the Rings all over again, huh? That's a good point, Paul. That feels like such garbage. That whole walk.
Why would they walk? I mean, honestly, they have all those cars. They could have just driven.
I think it's a test from God kind of thing, because it can't be too easy.
Right. Yes. I think that's the idea. That's the idea. Now, that does bring up a good point, though. So Mother Abigail blabbers on about God speaking to them, and these 4 have been chosen, and you're going to walk with nothing but what's on your back, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, none of this stuff has like the metaphorical weight that I feel like it should.
Because
and then she says, one of you will not make the journey, but then only 2 of them survive. So where Was the God's plan change, or what's up with that?
No. So that is one of those, like, you misread her prophecy.
Right.
Because
One
the
of you
whole
won't
point
make
was
it to Vegas.
Stu didn't make it. Right.
No. Got it. Okay.
That doesn't
I get
do it for you,
it.
Paul?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So Kinnear,
Kazoo,
Larry, and
so they're on their way,
Yep.
and they get to like a fucking
Fault line.
cavern or fault line, and then fucking Stu breaks his leg. He's left there to basically die. There's actually a pretty good scene where Greg Kinnear leaves him with the pain pills.
Yeah,
Yes,
and the dog.
And the dog. Yeah,
well, the
We're gonna
dog
get a
comes
refill.
back to him. So
so he leaves him there to die, basically. And they go on to Vegas and leave. They leave what's his fuck? Gary Sinise. I'm gonna call him Gary Sinise. They leave Stu. They leave Stu.
Gary Sinise.
They leave Gary Sinise in the fucking
the chasm.
chasm. Yeah, which I mean, okay,
The Valley
that's
of
fine.
Death.
Yeah, there's a nice scene between Greg Kinnear, who I think is also one of the shining parts of the show.
He had some very good dialogue points in that.
He
show.
did.
Yeah,
He's a good.
and they get to Vegas and get greeted by Nadine, who is suddenly the Walking
Jesus.
Dead zombie.
Right.
8.5 months pregnant and screwed by a golem in the desert. So
everything in this show by design feels way too fast. You could have had a stand series that was like 5 seasons long, where an entire season was them walking to Vegas. Like,
I think you're right. I think there could have been at least 2 or 3 episodes of them walking to Vegas. And I think you're right. I think this should have been more. This should have been at least a 2-season miniseries,
right,
or whatnot. It should have been a slower pace, and I think we've all said it. The characters just were not developed in this nearly as much as they could have been, and that makes fans of this book and the older series irate. Because we loved these characters and we wanted to see what the newer. Now that there's not all the tableaus that we had in the first one, because there's a lot of stuff they did in this series that you couldn't do on TV in the 90s.
Well, that's what's sad is like, I just recently watched a year or two ago, I watched the old miniseries from the 90s, and it's like, that was better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fucking ridiculous.
They had better actors too, though, to be fair.
But I mean, just the writing, the fact that I had less time and got to know my characters more. It's just really bad.
The original, that was more episodes, wasn't it?
No, it was like 6 hours total.
Oh,
with Gary Kinnear? Wow.
Yeah, it was like a 4-night miniseries event. I mean, this was a 9-episode.
That was so well done that I thought it was at least twice as long then.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was like a week long.
Wow.
No, we could watch it in 2 nights.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the last, unless I'm wrong, the last Stephen King for TV show was The Mist. What was it?
The Dome.
Okay, so I didn't see the Dome.
Mist. No,
So
Under the
Mist
Dome was before The Mist.
So
was it?
I hated, but I liked The Mist, but they canceled it. I don't know what happened to Under the Dome and now this. So is it just 3 for 3 all crap?
Yeah.
There was a show on HBO last year. Shit, what was it called?
The Outsider?
The Outsider. I liked that. Dude, if you haven't watched that, Paul, that'll wet the willy as far as Stephen King is concerned.
And honestly, the other one that I've watched that's really good, and I hope there's another season coming out pretty soon. It's on Hulu. It's called Castle Rock, and each season is a mashup of 2 different Stephen King books. So
I feel like
it's really good.
I feel like if anyone was reading Stephen King books with their kid or their loved one or something, they would get to where he made that 90-degree turn or started to and just say, and then he died. Dude, nothing else by him exists in original continuity or original authorship.
It's not a bad point. What's the you read more than us, Ken? You've probably read a lot.
I thought you were going to say me. I was like, no.
What's the last really good Stephen King book?
Dr. Sleep.
And that's not like pinnacle Stephen King.
No,
that's like
no,
good, but
not
it's not. Yeah,
pinnacle. See,
I'm with you. I was going to
Yep.
say the same thing. That's the last good thing by
I
Stephen
do like
King that I've
Misery
read.
though. The Misery movie was
Misery's great, but Misery's like class. Okay,
Volume 7 of 8 though.
I haven't read it, Ken. And you're probably going to hate me for this.
No.
Is that the last book in the series? Sorry to
Mhm.
interrupt you, Jack. Okay.
No, that's good. I've heard that ending is like, and don't spoil it for me.
I won't.
I am going to read it.
It's perfect.
Okay. See, I've heard it's the worst fucking thing ever. Like I've heard that like when you finish that series, you're angry because it's so bad.
I wasn't. I liked it.
Okay.
I won't go in anymore, but
okay.
I can see where some people would be angry by it. Absolutely.
From my understanding, for that series, Dark Tower, is if you wanted to get the full Stephen King experience, you should read all his other books up until then, and then read that as like the universe tied together, awesome thing,
absolutely.
Right?
He referred to this at the time as his opus. Okay. This tied all of the previous books together. Even that it was a movie. I think it was a short story called Hearts of Atlantis.
I've heard of it.
The one that had Anthony Hopkins in the movie.
That's part of this. The book that he
Talisman, right?
Yep, The Talisman with Peter Straub. That's exactly where I was going with that. There's actually 2 books in that. There's Bleak House and The Talisman. All ties together, and even Randall Flagg is in this book.
Well, no, the first Dark Tower book, Paul, is literally
the gunslinger.
The gunslinger, and I can't remember. Is he chasing Randall Flagg, or is Randall Flagg chasing him? That's the whole book.
He is chasing Randall Flagg through all of the books.
That's cool.
Right.
All I knew about Gunslinger was
different.
All I knew about Gunslinger was it was a chase book. And that was why some people didn't like it, is it was this just
the Gunslinger's awesome.
It is.
The last Stephen King book I tried to listen to on audio was Do McKee.
That was a good book, good standalone book.
And then I tried to start reading Insomnia, but I don't think yet. Did either of you guys read that? I'm sorry, we're going way off the stand.
No, I haven't read that. No, last Stephen King tangent. It's fine.
The last Stephen King book I read was the one he wrote with Owen called Sleeping Beauties, and it was a turd. It was just a crap fest. It took me 6 months to finish it because I just had to finally force myself to finish it. It was terrible.
That's when you just put it down and say, fuck it.
That broke. I used to have this compulsion that if I started a book, I had to finish it. That broke that compulsion.
Yeah, there was one book that I was reading that I couldn't finish, but I think Do McKee was on audio, and like I was borrowing a buddy's sign in for Audible, and I lost the login or something. I don't know.
That book had a really good ending too. I like that book.
But yeah, I agree with you, Ken. Like it's hard as a book fan to start something and to give up.
Yeah.
Wish I would have done that with the stupid fucking series.
But here we are. So what's the next episode?
All right, yeah. So we get to Vegas.
We're in Vegas.
And one of the best scenes in the show, I would say, is the courtroom scene.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for fucking what's his dick Lloyd standing there acting like a goddamn clown carriage show.
Jesus, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they were like. That is not how I imagine that character at all. Now, in the original one, he was played by the dude from RoboCop. Was him in the original one, like bald guy, normal,
deep voice.
Yeah, and he's just played as an absolute joke in this, which I don't know what they were thinking there.
He flipped as a character. So he was this robber kind of following the other guy. Then he was in jail, and then he's now Randall Flagg's right-hand man. There's great synchronization there with the drinks, guys. But now he's Randall Flagg's right-hand man, and he's like a totally different person. Like, which would make sense if he had a backstory of like, this is who I've always wanted to be, or this that explained his flamboyancy more than just this is who he is now. I don't know. It just didn't stick for me. It didn't. I wish he was less involved.
Yeah.
And the announcer chick. Like,
Oh
I feel
God,
like there was a story there, and they didn't
is there a
even.
dentist around?
Was that the girl who at the beginning ran into Tom and
No,
Nick? No, this
that
was a different one.
That was a different girl.
Okay.
Talking about
Okay.
the one that had the really bad teeth and the.
But
She was
yeah,
The judge.
Glenn goes on this, like, he essentially mocks Randall Flagg. He like starts talking shit about him, whatever, and Lloyd loses it and kills him. And I thought that was actually pretty good.
Yeah. You can see him flipping the entire, because it was televised to everybody in Vegas, you know, in his comments, like, what does he have? If you don't fear him, he doesn't have anything.
Yeah, that's definitely caters to the free will portion.
Yeah. He's like, you guys don't, he doesn't hold anything over you. Like, you hold everything over him. If you don't fear him, he doesn't have shit.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden he lost all of his power. So
yeah, now that leads into what was another part that kind of confused me a little bit with Nadine. She's pregnant with Flagg's kid. And apparently she hasn't seen a mirror. She doesn't know what she looks like or something.
He whammied her to make her look like.
Yeah, I feel like she's just glossy-eyed after that.
Are we supposed to believe that after she gives birth, she's gonna die?
Yeah, because she's giving birth to the Antichrist is basically what they're trying to allude to there.
Right.
In there with a cigar. And
so she kills herself, and I'm assuming it's because she realizes that she's just a tool, right?
Yes, there's something wrong, that it's not right. She finally wakes up.
So she's just a selfish cunt.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Like, what's her name from Dark?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Oh, she's the worst.
Do you think Nadine did enough to redeem herself to get into heaven at the end?
I mean, what did she killed Nick and Harold. That's all she did wrong.
She didn't, though, really. She just wound up Harold.
No, she tried to kill Harold, though. She purposefully hit the brakes and let him fucking fly off there.
She did it on purpose. She was thinking.
I don't know.
She didn't know
the
if he would die or not. But
she knew he was useless at this point, and she didn't need him anymore, and she let him. Yeah, but yeah, no, she. I mean, yeah, I guess she redeemed herself. She killed the Antichrist, right?
Right.
And that leads me, like, every time, like, Randall Flagg is just a pathetic dummy character. He's a dumbass through every step of this fucking show. Like, he doesn't see that coming. He doesn't do anything to stop that.
He hasn't learned anything over a few millennia.
He must be. It's got to be like a hubris thing. Like, he's got such a huge ego that he just it clouds his judgment. Right.
Right.
So
well, it goes to the thing, you know, with the difference between good and evil. You know, evil is mostly ego and pride. You know, those are considered, you know, deadly sins. Envy. So he's envious of what others have, which he's envious of what Mother Abigail's put together. He's prideful. He's lustful, that kind of stuff. And but there's no wisdom there. You know what I'm saying? There's no long game.
Yeah, he's pretty stupid. He's a dumbass. And I'm not scared of a villain who's a complete fucking dumbass.
No, he was better as when he was a villain in True Blood.
Even his Las Vegas house before the spies was falling apart, where he couldn't maintain his levitation crap. It was just no long game, like you said.
Because you can't maintain fear. Because you have to constantly one-up things to maintain that level of fear. It's unsustainable.
Eat so many people in an elevator.
Right, as a wolf.
Now, at this point, Larry and what's her name? Ray. I think her name's Ray, right?
I cared so little for her character. I can't even tell you her name.
No, she doesn't really have a character.
No, it was just so stupid. It's like,
but they end up in a pool, like they're gonna get drowned slowly, and Larry starts talking about how he shall fear no evil and shit. And meanwhile, Trash Can Man's rolling in all.
Yeah, and it was at that moment when he started saying, I shall feel no evil, when they cut to Trash Can Man stopping in the middle of Vegas and turning around and heading back to the hotel. But my whole point with that, it's like, okay, if you're going to start quoting the 23rd Psalm, start saying the 23rd Psalm. Don't just sit there and be a Rain Man going, I shall fear no evil.
Hey, whatever he did, man, it worked because the whole crowd starts to turn against Flag.
I know that was stupid, though. I thought
the whole crowd starts to turn against Flag as trash can man shows up. Basically, in the span of like 45 seconds, Randall Flagg's entire plan has gone to shit.
Yeah.
And the hand of God comes out of the ceiling and blows up the nuclear bomb. And
it looks just like the mist fog too, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't the hand of God in the literal sense, like Cheese Dick Stephen King wrote it kind of back in the day. It's more like a storm shows up,
right?
Blows everybody up.
Like ball light starts coming in through the ceiling. And
I was kind of really disappointed by that. It's kind of like Dad got home from his work trip and found the son had gotten into his liquor stash or something. And he's like, no, darn you. I just didn't buy it. Like where
that's not, I don't think that's very unique to this.
That's not unique to Stephen King either.
Well, I just feel like this is something where you'll talk to a lot of people about The Stand. And this will be the Achilles heel of The Stand.
I'm telling you,
this setup here.
The setup for this, and this is Stephen King. I don't read any of his books and tell me I'm wrong. The hero at the end of the story has to be some kind of severely flawed person, whether it be mentally handicapped, an alcoholic, something. Look at Due McKee. He's a construction dude that got run over by a dump truck or something.
Yeah, that's fine though. But the problem,
but that's what I'm saying. He set up Trash Can Man as the hero because at the end when he's taking the bomb, he's taking the stand against Randall, and he's the one that succeeds. Stupid.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that's a character who just happens to show up at the right place at the right time.
Saying they don't develop it, but that's Stephen King though.
For no reason. Randall Flagg did nothing wrong to Trash Can Man.
No.
He did nothing wrong to make him do that.
I mean, he did make him go get a nuclear bomb and
he was melting in the sea.
I mean, would that really happen though? With all the time I've spent around nuclear bombs, I'm not as bald as Ken, so
busted wide open nuclear bombs. I don't know. I mean, but
my genitalia is so big I don't have enough.
I mean, he just happens to show up basically at the perfect time, and everything blows up. God ends up, his hand shows up. It's
with both hands.
It's supposed to, I think, be a whole like faith thing,
it was I keep going back to the whole thing. He keeps saying my life for yours, even though in this one it's an incoherent babbling, man.
I still heard my life for you.
Yes, right, that's what he says.
My life for you, and he's talking to God. He's not talking to Randall. And it's his redemption. That scene where he blows up Randall is about the redemption of Trash Can Man.
He doesn't even blow up Randall because doesn't Randall disappear before he blows the bomb?
No, it's all part of the same lightning that comes in.
Still though, is it redemption if the guy's just a fucking lunatic? I mean, even in the book, he was a lunatic. It's not like he saw the error of his ways and fucking showed up.
He loves Jackson. That's why you're safe.
I don't know, man. I feel like this is a fault in the story.
It is
shittier. It's shittier in the show than it is in the book. But the real good part of the ending, in my opinion, in the book, were the 100 pages or so that came after this, and that's the finale of this episode, which I can't remember the last time I was more. And I guess I shouldn't. I shouldn't be irritated because I don't care at this point anyway. But the whole last episode of this show, in the book, it is the journey of Stu and Tom. Tom comes across Stu and helps him get back to Boulder. In this, they basically cut that out. They did. Yeah. They cut it out. They showed Tom show up, and then they were back in Boulder. And there was one section of that book. It's still that section of the book. That's the only time I've ever cried from a book ever was in that.
I was just happy that Kojak made it to the end of the movie, honestly.
So So they got me. I didn't cry, but they got me emotionally with the baby getting Captain Trips and surviving because she almost killed it. But the book, there were some details in there between Tom Cullen and him where during their journey, them together, that was emotional.
Yeah.
They spend like, it takes them, months to get back. They're stopping at like motels and shit, like trying to stay warm, trying to find food and shit.
Limp along with a broken leg, I'm guessing.
There's this bit in there at Christmas time. In the snow where, and I don't remember exactly what goes down, but it's just a lot of like heartwarming, Stu, like basically with this excited, like the mind of a child in this, in Tom's character. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is when Nick visits Tom, I think. When the shadow of Nick, the ghost of Nick, and I don't think
Christmas past.
I don't think it's a literal representation.
No, because you're right. Stu is at his lowest point, and Tom is struggling as well, and that's when Nick shows up and re-energizes Tom.
Yes,
Tom's exuberance is what keeps Stu going.
So they cut that entire fucking part out of this shit.
Yeah, I'm with you because with Tom Cullen, it was him escaping and Randall Flagg trying to come find him in the gullows in the the slave states or whatever down below, and he escaped, and then you don't see him. The next time you see him, he's just kind of stumbling through the desert, like, oh, I hope this way is east.
Well, to be fair, Kojak
Cujo shows up. That shared Stephen King universe.
Cujo's like, oh man, Tom Cullen, you're not worth it.
Yeah, but
you called me.
Let's go to that. Of course, there's a nuclear bomb that goes off literally a few miles away, and there's like no repercussions to Tom or Stu.
Okay. Yeah, well, see, that's the fault of the screenwriters, though. Because I'm assuming that Stu, like where he fell, was a ways away yet. They weren't even they were maybe halfway there.
What's the fallout of a modern nuclear bomb, though? I mean, what's the safe radius?
I don't know. I mean,
he was blown. The wind, the force blast or whatever from the concussion blast was still strong enough to knock dirt all over the place in there.
I mean, that's a distance, though. Boulder, Colorado to Las Vegas is a long.
Well, I'm not talking about Boulder with radiation. I'm talking they were definitely close enough for the fallout.
It's.
I mean, no, I don't agree with that, because think about if that's true, then all 4 or 5 states around the testing areas we used in the U.S. would be radiation zones. Like, you wouldn't be able to live there.
Well, look up the Bikini Islands and
well, sure, that's an island though. Like, I'm talking about
just an island.
That's like half the country. Colorado to Las Vegas. If Stu went down halfway there,
I think they were closer to Vegas than what you're thinking.
I think you're wrong. I think that it seems that way because they did that whole episode in 25 minutes.
I think it's for movie effects that there was even wind involved. It's 760 miles from Boulder to Las Vegas. So whatever that is divided by 2, whatever.
The blast zone, correct me if I'm wrong, would have to be about 50 miles.
Sure, but the point is, Ken, you're looking at this because of how shittily they wrote this.
Damn it!
You're assuming they're closer than they are because that episode was like 30 minutes. That section. So you just assume it only took him 15 minutes to get there. He's not that far away. But I'm assuming they went for weeks or months. They were still walking.
Okay, so then let's go to that point. Then Stu should be dead from dehydration.
That's a fair point. It's a fair point. I don't know how to explain that.
Same thing with the dog. How the hell was he eating?
But either way, they get back, and then we get the real finale.
I don't know.
We get the real finale of the episode, the new Stephen King finale, where they end up going east to back to Maine. Doesn't make any fucking sense. It's the dumbest shit ever. No reason to believe that they're going to be able to survive. It's terrible. They go back to Maine. They stop in Nebraska, and Mother Abigail's hanging
out with Malachi in a cornfield.
Yeah, Mother Abigail's now a little girl in the middle of a fucking cornfield.
Is that supposed to be her?
Yeah, that's supposed to be
Oh,
Mother
geez.
Abigail.
I think so.
Yeah, no,
I
you're
think
right.
it's like a reincarnation
Yeah,
of her. That's
that
how
was
I
her-
interpreted it.
Yeah, that was her reward for being God's chosen or something.
Really?
Yeah,
I interpreted that as just
some weird kid hanging out in the cornfield.
Yeah, some kid living in a tent in a cornfield. I did not interpret that as Mother Abigail. So that's my reward from God, is I get to be sent back to the shithole of earth to live as a child.
I mean, how the hell else is that little girl like just living out in the fucking
I think she's
cornfield?
just an angel.
She's just there to save.
Yeah, she's Mother Abigail in angel form. I think.
You know, maybe she can go back to heaven as.
Well, it's got to be magic corn, because corn don't grow like that when it's left on its own for how many years?
There you go. Well, no, but so they show up at this like farm in fucking Nebraska, and what's her name? Franny gets
gets trapped in a well.
Gets trapped in a well, and she sees like visions of Flag. Flag's still around, I guess.
I did like that moment. Yeah, Flag is all of a sudden alive again. Like God's like, you sat in the corner for long enough, and then he shows up, and what does he say to her? Like, hey, bitch, or something, and she falls. I kind of chuckled at that. I thought it was kind of neat.
That was about the only good thing that they had him do.
I don't know. I do like the end, but we'll get there.
Yeah,
I did laugh. Jackson, you're muted.
You're muted.
I laughed because it was, what else can you do but laugh at this point? Like at that point, which we'll get to momentarily, but Franny falls down a well while Stu is away getting a flat tire because he
say that again.
Over.
But sing it like Aerosmith, because it sounds like an Aerosmith. Franny fell down a well.
Yeah, she falls down a well, and she has these visions of him, and he's trying to get her to kiss him.
Yeah, so Stu runs over a rogue COVID vaccine needle and pops his tire.
You really got a kick out of your own joke.
No, because Ken is laughing so hard. I love it. I love it when people laugh at my jokes. It makes me laugh harder. Yeah. So his car is rocking, so don't come a knocking. Well, he's trying to change the tire, and Franny's, here with the dog, and then Randall Flagg comes and whispers in her ear, and she falls down the well. I don't know. And
then, he shows back up. Stu does, to find her in the well, and there's a little girl sitting there.
There's just a random little black girl.
Yeah, he runs by his child. He runs by his infant child and just is like, "Oh, you got that? Cool. I'm gonna go check out. Franny might be in the well. I better go make sure." But you got her right. Like I would have backpedaled. Like what?
What the fuck happened? Right.
Who the fuck? Like
gets her out. They go to Maine, and then we get the stand. We take our stand bullshit coda from Stephen King. Fucking somehow made his ending worse than it was in the first place. And he goes. They go to the Randall Flagg on the island, which I really liked.
I like
that straight out of the uncut 90s redo of the stand.
Is it? Because I don't remember. That is totally new to me.
Yeah.
This was I was like, okay, I guess God let her some weird shit. I don't know.
It would be a conduit. It'd be he needed an anchor in the world.
Okay.
So that's how he was going to anchor himself in that world.
Okay.
Right? And then he'd probably start possessing your kids, and there'd be like some breeding stuff going on. No one's doing
right. Well, because Mother Abigail said she's going to have X amount of kids and see X number alive and blah, blah, blah. But, so he takes Franny into this tribe, and he's like, this tribe survived Captain Trips because it never touched him, like as if it were in the real world. Maybe it was. And then she tempts him, he tempts her, and she bites his lip as she tries to kiss him and says, not even if you were God himself, and runs away. And then the, children of the corn heal her, and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, the ending itself, and audience, the reason we're jumping around so much is because it was so bad. But
the show is disjointed. So
yeah, right. The flashbacks, we mentioned that in episode 2, or if not 1. But anyway, I did really like this whole tribe thing, because I thought it was just like the purest form of temptation and Satan and just him exploding that guy's head, and I just thought it was it was entertaining.
Give the old dude credit. He did try to shoot him with an arrow first.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is Randall Flagg finally found a group of people stupid enough that he could actually just rule.
Right.
And then the idea that like it's an eternal battle between good and evil, right? It's you win your battles here and there, but it's never over, right? And some people will probably think like, oh, they're going to have a second season. I don't see it that way. There's no fucking way they can come out with another season.
No, it's like Picard. They can't. They ruined the ending of Picard the same way, trying to shoehorn in a potential for a second season. And Lord help me, I hope they don't.
But yeah, no, I think
Picard season 2 is already in. It's going to happen.
Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I honestly, the ending was entertaining, but it was also disappointing. Like,
oh yeah,
it sucked.
What the fuck is the point? What was the point of this this cosmic struggle? If it was just hey, you won this game of chess, we're just gonna hit reset, or it's a draw, we'll hit reset. I thought it was kind of a letdown.
Kind of. This show sucked balls. It's fucking terrible.
In a big picture theme, maybe Ken knows more because he's read it. But as me, the TV man,
but you shouldn't need to read The Dark Tower to enjoy The Stand. It's
no. But if you've read these key books in his writing, like I would say his good writings, you understand more of where Stephen King is going to go with the storyline.
All right. Well, spoiler, double spoiler. What is it? Give you 10 minutes to Florida the Ken. What is it?
I need to read it. Don't do it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Never mind then. YouTube is disappointing.
I've got them all up there, all the dark.
Yeah.
But no, the Stand, this is nonsense bullshit.
Yeah.
The Stand on its own should be its own fucking thing.
Yeah.
The other stuff is just fun stuff. It's another thing, which is fine. But it's like with the Star Wars movies, right? It's like you shouldn't need to watch every fucking cartoon that was a side show to understand and enjoy the Star Wars movies. It's kind of the same deal. It needs to be housed in a vacuum. This show sucked in every conceivable
it did
way.
Have it had its moments, but yes, if you zoom out in a macro, it was terrible. In the micro,
there are good moments. Absolutely, I agree with Paul. There are some good moments. We all liked the court scene with Greg Kinnear.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't just piss on this fucking show.
No, I go to the bathroom every once a day, twice a day. It has its moments, but it's still overall shitty, right?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean,
Ken maybe once every 2 days.
This show gets my lowest.
Very regular.
This show gets my lowest F that I can give. This is the worst. This is the most disappointing fucking thing I've seen in years. I hated this.
Yeah.
Hated it.
So I jokingly told the guys before we went live, like I turned my hat around because of how awesome the show was. But to me, The Stand is the end of the world, the final battle between good and evil is, Antichrist and Christ returns, blah, blah, blah. Or it's this super virus, whatever. And I don't think it ended that battle. I think it was just like a blip on the radar of,
99.
The world will recover.
It's a cycle. And that's what he was getting at. If you go back to the scene when Stu first meets Greg Kinnear's character and they're high as balls sitting there and they're about ready to really bro out together. And he talks about, give me two people. Well, they'll
right.
He goes through that whole spiel. That's what that's all about. That's setting up basically the plot for the whole thing.
And even then,
crescendo, it's going to fall. It's going to crescendo. It's going to fall.
Even them before they leave Boulder, we're like, these are the crimes we've had now. Somebody's in jail for drunkenness. Next is going to be murder. It's going to be worse, stealing, blah, 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 whatever. And exactly, it's the return to what society is, and that the return of the power building for Randall Flagg, for Satan.
Yep.
So why Why do it in the first place?
Well, I mean, I think it would have been more powerful if you would have really felt like 99% of the population got wiped out too. I mean, I never had that feeling in this show.
I
never felt the sense of this. They never let it sink in, the virus itself.
Right.
Like you almost forgot about it by like the third episode.
I did like that.
They won't get you another damn beer.
I did. I was just going to say, Ken is like, that's the wrong one. That's a Tuesday beer. So anyway,
right. Well, that to be fair, they do get in trouble for that. So
yeah. I was gonna say, that's what I was gonna say. I didn't lose it. Good for me. That first series, the original TV series, they did allude on that, where it's like people with blenders still running, fridges open, and shit like that is draining the power plant that you want to restore, kind of thing. Like that was. People were so sick at home. Whoa. Did anyone else see that?
I saw that.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway,
it was like the ring for a second.
Yeah. Maybe I'm going to get trips in the morning. But that was part of it. Like people are so sick, like they're at home now, creepily enough, like they're trying their best to go about their business and they just collapse and the blender's running, the toaster's on, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. And I thought they did a better job of what Jackson said, showing how widespread and awful it was versus just running over some random scalped, whatever the hell that was in that episode where Harold tripped his bike on the beach or something.
I mean, I feel like if everybody just would have followed their local mask mandates, this wouldn't have been a problem.
Roadkill he tripped on.
Was it? I don't know. I'm gonna. I'm not. I'm going to have to. The answer is I'm not going to rewatch that episode, but
I will never touch this again.
No,
ever.
No, unless you want to hurt somebody.
Ever will I touch this fucking thing. I will fucking tell everybody I know never to look at this. I mean, it is fucking terrible, but yeah, that about does it for The Stand.
I was really, Amber Heard played Nadine, and we did review Justice League recently, and Amber Heard played a character from Aquaman in Justice League. I thought that was really interesting because it took me a second. I was kind of proud of myself. Usually I don't connect the dots like that. That was her talking to Aquaman when the mother box was so easily stolen from Aquaman land.
To be fair, they're fish.
Yeah.
This is a good segue, though, because I want to end this show on a good note.
Look at you, Paul. You segued us perfectly for Jack.
Right.
That's what MOON spells. Good segue.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, last Tuesday, a new series aired on CW called Superman and Lois. And so far, I know, Paul, you've watched both episodes, right?
Yeah, so earlier I was going to say the two shows that I tried to stream from the internet illegally were Smallville back when it was actually airing on TV, and the other show I can't remember now thanks to what's in my glass, but Pinky's out to that. It was Eureka, as that was on TV. So those are the two shows back when, like, I don't know what I was using, watch TV online or something weird. But anyway, that's what I was going to say earlier, is those two shows where I was like originally pirating. But Superman and Lois, prior to now, the last super show I watched was Smallville, and then a little bit of Flash. And that's about it.
But you're watching this show, right?
I am watching this. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the first episode tonight now after you sent me that.
Well, I was going to say, Jesus Christ, people, let me talk.
No.
One
more thing. Jackson has something to say.
I think the show is good. But what I wanted to real quick touch on, and I sent this because I know Ken hadn't seen it. So I sent it just to make sure that he knew what I was going to be talking about here. The first episode of this Superman and Lois show opens with like a 4 to 5 minute long, kind of catching you up on Superman. They're doing the thing where it's like, okay, we've all seen the Superman story a million fucking times. We don't need, an episode of backstory. We're just going to real quickly and concisely go through the backstory of Superman, all that stuff. It's up on YouTube. And I have watched this now, this 4-minute clip, I don't know how many times. I'm obsessed with it. I'm fascinated by it. I think I think you could write an essay on how perfectly it's describing Superman. It touches on every great thing about Superman that is missing from the Man of Steel, Zack Snyder stuff.
That makes me want to watch it again because I don't think I absorbed half of what you appreciated then. Because I'm a Superman fan, but I'm not like a tattoo on my chest Superman fan.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, right. But like diehard level fan of.
But it is like it goes, it does the thing where it's like, okay, my planet blew up. I landed on Earth, met my parents, whatever. The way it's done is so tasteful and perfect. There's a moment in it where he, talks about his dad died of a heart attack or whatever. So it hits that right away. You get that, okay, he's all powerful, but we can still relate to him because he can't save everyone. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
So they nail that. And then he goes to Metropolis, and there's this moment where they actually took the first issue of Action Comics. So the first ever moment that anyone ever saw Superman. And they basically do this scene where this PT Cruiser, it's in modern times, so it's a PT Cruiser. It's not like an old-timey car. But it pops up on the screen, and this kid's about to get hit by it. And essentially they set it up so that he saves the kid from this car. And this was just like, this to me was like the coolest fucking, shot you could have done. And I'm going to try and pull it up here. There's just so everybody knows what to look out for.
Why does do you know, or does it get explained why he has the old suit versus the new suit?
Yeah, they do. He makes, so that's what I was getting at. So he saves, so this was the original first Superman comic, right? And he's wearing this suit, and he saves this kid from this green PT Cruiser. So it's like almost like a perfect rendition of this cover. So to me, that says like, okay, these people get it who are writing this.
That's a Hudson Rambler.
But
I never drove one like you can.
He saved this kid. But there's a moment with that kid that's so perfect where the kid basically loses his hat, and Superman, of course, takes the time to pick up the kid's hat and give him the hat and say like, hey, here you go, bud.
Here you go, take my hat.
And the kid says, awesome costume, like sweet costume or whatever. And Superman just looks at him and goes, thanks, my mom made it for me. And it's just, it's
bizarro that you love the happy, shiny Superman, yet your taste in movies is so completely fucked up.
I am excited for this week's movie, District B13. I will tell you, it's on the
Pluto app.
It's on
My
Pluto.
Mom's Basement.
It's on My Mom's Basement Mystery Channel, Downright Nerdy Podcast.
Brought to you by Pornhub.
Yes. Yeah, so we're doing it's a parkour French action movie, but he does that. Then we get a little bit of after that. So we get, okay, well, Clark's always ready to help out the little guy and just like, he'll help out your average citizen, whatever. And then we get him as Clark in the Daily Planet, getting intro to Lois, whatever, where he meets Lois.
He's saying his love story, like I never stopped.
Yes.
That in my tracks or whatever till I saw her, and then it's Maria Shriver, but
but anyway, no, but like that right there. So you've hit all the like points of like his upbringing.
Right.
He's a down home, nice boy, whatever. Then they do the Clark thing for literally 15, 20, 30 seconds. He's in the office building as Clark, and it is the best Clark we've had since Christopher Reeve. Best Clark Kent. I don't, in that 15, he's like mumbling, he's looking around, he's like, oh, I knew, wait, actually, I did know a teacher named Lois, like, and it's like, it's so fucking perfect. Speaking
of Christopher Reeves, one of my favorite Superman moments with Christopher Reeves is in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, when they're
All right, we're gonna mute Ken. We're gonna mute Ken right now.
No.
Give him the cookie
spark
treatment.
moment. It's where they're in the gym and they're doing aerobics. Do you remember that scene?
I have tried to erase that film from my memory.
This was funny. It was
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh God, good. Paul, it's
probably for this reason.
It's fucking terrible. Christopher Reeves wrote Quest for Peace as he was into like nuclear. He wanted to stop like the nuclear proliferation. Yeah. And it's like a big nuclear weapon.
Nuclear statement. Yeah.
So bad. But anyway,
it's no Richard Pryor making fake kryptonite from cigarettes. So
no, I mean, look, Superman 1 and 2 are great. We don't need to talk about 3 and 4.
So what's your favorite scene though, Ken? Because I haven't seen it. I'm not hopefully never freaking see it. But
you're gonna see it on Downright Annoyed.
He's in a gym and they're doing aerobics and he's just pretending to be all this uncoordinated, like he can't lift, when Lois is in the room. Then Lois leaves and the gym guy that's being a jerk to him, he just like picks up this bar with like 300 pounds on it, tosses it at him. Sorry.
Wasn't he trying to impress Lana Lang?
It was Lana, not Lois. Yeah.
Cheating bastard.
Lana Lang, who was played by Annette O'Toole, who ended up playing Martha Kent.
Sorry, I never knew about that.
Annette O'Toole. Yeah, she's
but no. So yeah, it's then they go into a little bit about he's got 2 kids and one of them's like different. And then there's another bit where it's like about he's talking about his kid getting like an anxiety disorder. And again, it's like, stop telling me that you can't make Superman relatable. Stop it. These fucking Superman haters who try and talk about how he's not relatable and whatever, but it's like, no, the whole point is he has all the power in the universe and he can't. Well, no, he can't save everyone.
Right.
He can't
but he
save
chooses to
everything.
be kind, is what I'm saying. He chooses to be the better person.
Well, and it's like, I'm excited for because inevitably in most Superman stories, at some point he gets pissed. And it carries so much more weight when Superman gets pissed. Zack Snyder
backwards and turns back time.
Yes, right, exactly. Now Zack Snyder Superman is just pissed. Period. He's just not a happy guy. He's just upset.
I liked Man of Steel. That's because he had to
starve himself for 3 days to get abs like that.
I did watch an interview with Hugh Jackman for Wolverine, and he's like, I don't recommend this, but this is what you do to look that way.
Yeah.
Is you drink a bunch of water and then you just stop for like 36 hours. No, you can't eat or drink, or maybe at least not drink for 36 hours. And that's how you look that way on screen. I'm like,
is that before or after you take the steroids?
I don't know. You got to consult your wife,
because you got to get the water out from between the skin and the muscles to make them better.
That's another thing too, by the way. It's refreshing to have a Superman who doesn't look like he's a fucking like steroided out linebacker. He's just like a dude. Like you see him in a suit as Clark Kent, and it's like, oh, it's just like a normal dude.
Yeah, I mean, so if I'm Superman, which I'm not, I wish I was, but like, you can't go to a gym and work out. Like you can't lift a continent to do your bench
you
presses.
Go to the train yard like Mr. Incredible and lift.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, no, he's just strong. It doesn't matter.
I think lifting a train is like lifting a tissue box to him.
Right.
Oh, someone wants to show him.
All right.
But no, yeah. So I'm very, very impressed with the start.
It looks good. I'm gonna have to watch the first episode. I'm glad you showed it to me because I probably wouldn't have checked it out because Dean Cain is always Clark and Lois to me.
Dude, it's it's the best intro to Superman that I could think to put out there. Like whoever does the next Superman movie, this is the template. Yeah, in my opinion. And it's a CW show. It's a CW show.
They need to get away from this whole everything has to be dark and grungy crap. They really we need something that's a little more positive, and you can sit down and watch with your
like Shazam. Shazam was fun. Right.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Hey, so here we're unmuted. Zafira, what did you think of Shazam?
Zafira.
Shazam? Really, you're gonna let me down and pretend
She's
to the
not gonna
audience
remember
you've never
Shazam.
seen Shazam?
Do your
watched
dad
it
proud.
10 times. What did you think of
have.
Shazam?
Me while watching for the first time.
Oh, whatever. Fail. Get out of
Me
here.
wa-
And that's a good place to stop the show.
Jesus.
Let's
Dense for us.
say our goodbyes. We'll start with Ken. Ken, where can
Hey
everybody
guys,
find
thanks for listening to our rambling,
Jesus
meandering review of The
I have
Stand.
a daughter for sale.
Yeah,
Man.
you got a few more years, so you got to get rid of them. So, but yeah, find me on all your podcasting platforms, and hopefully we'll be having some new stuff pretty soon. So,
Sweet. Thank you, Ken. And Paul?
You can find me on the black market selling this child.
what's your blood type?
Yeah, right. I don't know her blood type.
Way to go, Dad.
Goodbye. Anyway, you can find me on the Tales from the Flip Side podcast or YouTube channel. You can find me on Instagram at Paul's Problem CBSI, or hanging out with these jokesters with varying degrees of hair loss on Just Annoyed,
Wow,
or
you
the
really
Downright
held up on
Nerdy podcast channel, where we review random movies. And this
You
week,
get the widow's peak there, though, dude. I see it.
I have to
Oh, 5 more years. Gone.
I have to give a shout out to Ryan, who picked a movie off my list, which I thought was very impressive. District B13, a French parkour movie, whatever.
Hardcore.
Yeah,
Ken's gonna hate it because Ken and Paul.
I'm very excited. So my understanding is you can read the subtitles really fast, or you can get an English dubbed version. So I'm interested to first see which version the guys saw and how they liked it.
I'm going subtitled.
Me too. I'm going French subtitle.
Now, are you sure you can't have them read the subtitles to you, Paul? It's
I'm
isn't
just
an
gonna pause
audible.
it. It's gonna take me 6 hours. I'm gonna pause it, read, unpause, read.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
And I am Jackson with Just Annoyed. I have watched a bunch of good movies lately, but we'll talk about this next time because these two drunk assholes ramble so much
Not
that
drunk.
the show went way
You're
over.
the one who
time.
wants to end it.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I gotta eat, man. I'm in Central Time here.
We
man.
had Brenner just before we got on the show. So
But yeah, come back.
Right
Come back over to Downright Nerdy's show for District B13, not related to District 9. And we'll be back soon with more shit, I'm sure.
check out To the Lake. It's a German-Russian plague show.
All right. There's Ken's.
And
There's
don't,
Ken's thing.
don't check out The Stand that recently
Yes.
was on TV.
Don't ever watch The Stand.
Watch
That's-
Swamp Thing instead.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.